flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to introduce to anybody who doesn't know Steve Fish, who is the operating manager for Cottage Halls, that he's going to explain about the AEDs. Go right ahead, Steve.
Thank you, Jane. Members of council, distinguished guests, thank you for inviting me here this evening. If you want to have the chief catch up with me later on, he can call me and we can go through his stuff. So Jane asked me to come and explain the AED to everybody here at the meeting. Okay?
Might need to use it on me.
I have something for you, Lillian. We're good.
Mouth to mouth.
So within the cardiac arrest algorithm, there are some things that are obviously very important. Early recognition of cardiac arrest and notification of the 911 system. Okay, early CPR, and if available, early application of the automated external defibrillator. Jane was able to get 3 of them. One is going to be here inside the building. The other 2 are for the police, so they'll be in the patrol vehicles. Any patient that you would come upon or that might come in here and collapse, obviously check them for unresponsiveness, check for a pulse, check for breathing, call 911. If they're here in the building, this is the AED that's in the cabinet over there. Okay? If I might ask of you to partake, all you have to do is get up and open that door.
Anyway, open the door.
On the white cabinet right there above the coffee.
Where it says defibrillator.
All right. So that door is now open. There's an alarm that goes off. Go ahead and close that, see if it goes off. Yep. So there's an alarm that goes off that basically will tell anybody that's in the building. I actually thought they were louder than that somebody has gone to get the AED. Now that's not telling you that somebody is stealing it. Basically what it's saying is somebody has taken the AED and somebody needs help. Okay? All of the AEDs that are on the market are very easy to operate. They are made for the average layperson on the street. So you don't have to be a first responder to be able to use it. They're very simple, very easy to operate. We talked about a check for the police department to make sure that the AED was operating. In the upper left-hand corner of the AED, there's a little window that shows you a full-size battery and actually tells you that the AED is okay. All right? If there's a problem with the AED, so if the battery is starting to go dead or there's another problem with it, there's a little wrench that will come up in that window as well. Jane, if that wrench ever comes up,
Okay.
call me and I'll get you connected to the biomed department at Wayne Memorial Hospital, and we'll have the boys get it checked out for you. It could be something as silly as just the battery. If it is just the battery, we can order them and put them in. All right? But that'll tell you that the AED is okay and it will function. All right? If you ever need it, very simple, very easy. All you're going to do is take the 2 snaps down, open the lid. Within the lid are the quick combo pads. All right? All you're going to do is hit the green button. The screen is going to light up and it's going to talk to you.
Connect electrodes.
You'll take the electrodes out of the bag so we can take them out of the plastic bag.
Connect electrodes.
And there's just a one-way plug that goes in here. And there's a pictogram as to how the plug should go in. So once you put the
Check
plug
connector
in,
and electrodes.
okay, so that's plugged in.
Check connector and electrodes.
Want to practice on me?
No, we're not going to do that.
What are you, crazy?
Check connector and electrodes.
Uh-oh.
You're done. You're done.
So ultimately what it wants to do,
Don't be making so many people
Check
happy.
connector and
it
electrodes.
wants the pads to be applied to something.
Somebody.
Okay, so we're not going to do that.
No.
okay?
Gives you real end of the ear.
Yeah,
We don't want anybody in cardiac arrest there.
yeah. When you take the pads out of the package, on each pad there's a pictogram and it'll show you exactly where it wants the pad to go. All right? Once the pads are applied, it will then read as to whether or not the heart rhythm that the patient is a shockable rhythm or not. So the only rhythm that this will work for is what's called ventricular fibrillation. So your heart actually has electrical activity that drives it. All right? When you're in what's called that ventricular fibrillation, if you could picture a bowl full of Jell-O, if you were to shake that, how that Jell-O would look, that's what your heart looks like. So it doesn't have the ability to pump and circulate that blood. All right? Your heart can stay in that rhythm for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then after that, it will completely stop. Ventricular fibrillation is the easiest, most correctable rhythm if you have the AED present. All right? So we'll plug it in, we'll apply the pads, it's going to interpret that rhythm, and it's going to tell you whether or not a shock is going to be advised. If it tells you that a shock is advised, it's going to charge the machine up. It'll tell everybody to stand clear, but you also want to make sure that you say clear, because you don't want anybody touching the patient, because once you deliver that shock, it's also going to shock that person that's touching the patient. So it's going to analyze, it's going to tell you that a shock is advised, it's going to charge, it's going to say clear, you're going to say clear, and right on the front, right down here is a red button, okay? That's going to be the shock button. You'll push that button after it's done analyzing and it tells you to shock. It'll deliver that shock, okay? And then as soon as you do that, you'll immediately begin CPR again. And this will actually count down 2 minutes or 5 cycles of CPR. And at that point, it will tell you that it's going to reassess the patient. And then at that point, too, whoever's working the AED, if they do have some sort of CPR certification, at that point, they're actually going to reassess the patient themselves and check for a pulse and check for breathing.
You guys better be here by then.
We certainly hope so, but you think about it, 5 minutes, yeah,
That's why we're getting that.
yeah. What I did say to Jane was these pads all have an expiration date on them. So these pads are good till August 9th of 2024. All right?
That's why I didn't buy any extras
No.
because.
So what you want to make sure you do is about 6 months before these expire, so in February of 2024, somebody, hopefully, if it's still in this room, somebody should call me and say, we have X amount of pads that are going to expire. No problem. I pull them off our shelf because ours will have a longer shelf life because unfortunately we go through them much quicker. So what I'll do is if you have 6 of them that are going to expire hypothetically, I'll bring 6 over. I'll take your 6 as well back because we'll use them sooner than you will. So in the long run, I guess your only future investment would be if the battery were to go dead in that, because they will over a period of a couple of years. That'll be your only investment. But as far as the pads go, you can just swap the pads out. Okay. Can also be used on children, although I will tell you that children generally, when they go into cardiac arrest, it is not a heart-related problem. It is a respiratory-related problem. All right. So, unfortunately, we have summer come upon us now. It's a hot, warm summer. Right now, one of the big topics for all the EMS companies, all the training stuff they're doing is drownings. Fortunately, we live in northeastern Pennsylvania, so every drowning in northeastern Pennsylvania, whether it's a pool, lake, pond, river, whatever, is considered a cold water drowning. So, they get the benefit of the doubt and they get worked all the way to the hospital. And if it's a child, pediatric patient, they'll generally work on them for about an hour. I'm running on the ambulance, you'll remember, they're not dead till they're warm and dead.
Yep,
So
we
we'll
say
get
it
their,
long.
yep, so we'll get their core temperature back up, and whatnot.
Can't even think of it.
Yeah, so, obviously something very, very good to have, you know. They're everywhere now. All the fire departments pretty much have them. It's mandated by the Bureau of EMS that they're on every basic life support ambulance. The advanced life support trucks don't have them because we have the monitored defibrillators. The police departments have them. They're in airports, they're in malls, they're all over the place now. And again, they're tailored for the average person off the street that may not have any training. There's a calm voice that goes with it, so.
Any comments or questions for Steve?
Thank you for explaining.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully,
I never knew that.
hopefully it's an investment that you'll never have to use.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So you know, God forbid we need to use it.
Yep,
To press that red shock button,
yep.
is it just press it and let it go, or like?
Well, you press it, no, you're gonna
Because
just,
move it.
you'll press it
You're
and
not
hold
gonna
it,
use
okay?
Okay,
And
that's what I wanted.
so unlike TV,
Yes,
when you deliver that shock, they will move a little bit, but it's not like TV where it's
Where they holler.
over exaggerated, so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah,
They will move a little bit. When you're going to put the pads on, there's two sets of pads in here. Okay, there's the set here, and I don't know, I think the other ones are over there, Jane.
Yeah,
Two sets of pads. So a lot of times the AED will come with a razor, okay? So that if you get somebody who has a very hairy chest, you put the pads on, even though there's a lot of stickum on there, they may not stick very well. So you can shave that hair off, put the pads on, and then you're good to go. There is no razor on here,
okay.
in here, okay? So you have two sets of pads. Pad, push, they don't stick because they're real hairy. Take the corner of the pad, rip
Rip
the
it
pad
off.
right off.
Yeah.
So quick wax job, right?
That
Both
was a
pads,
wax job.
because then you
if
can
they
take your
get up and
second.
scream, we know they're.
then-
That's the first test.
But then you take your second set of pads and put those pads on.
That'll straighten the heart right out. Just get that bad.
Also, tell the police, well, I'll tell the chief,
Yeah,
but our truck comes, this plug, we can unplug from here and plug right into our cable on
Wow.
our monitor. Okay? At that point, care is continued. Depending on who's on, they may think of it, they may not, but then you would just call me. All they'll do is give you the pads off our monitor, and then your ED is ready to go right back in service. Okay? If they don't, then somebody should call me and say, hey, your guys came over yesterday, can we get a set of pads? And I'll just,
okay,
because they're like $150, $175 a piece.
Yeah. yeah. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
you're welcome.
Battery, you don't have to charge or anything.
You don't have to charge it. It's in here. So that's it.
Yeah, until it gets low, and when you
Yeah.
said that little thing that looks like a,
Yeah, little wrench will come up.
Yeah.
And then you can actually, so the place that you got these from, you can actually get the battery from them.
yeah,
And it's nothing more than taking the old battery out, sliding the new battery in. That's it. And then once you do that, it just comes on and you just have to turn
Steve,
it
how
on.
do you charge the battery?
You don't.
you don't, it's
You
already
don't charge
charged.
it at all.
It's already charged.
Yep. And it'll last for a long time.
But when the
So-
wrench comes on, you need a new battery.
When the wrench comes, well, potentially, it's gotta be checked first, but usually that's the problem. So, for the one that's in here, if you just wanna make a checklist, you can
Well,
check
that's
it.
why I'm gonna make a checklist
Yeah.
and also for the police, because they have got to keep these up
Every
to date.
January, it should be checked.
Yes,
Well,
well,
I
every month,
said
every
the first and the
month,
15th of every month.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, But as far as,
the battery has
Oh,
to be checked much
yeah.
more often than that.
Well, if you look on the 1st and the 15th of every month, as long as you see it says okay,
Yeah,
you're good.
okay. Thank you very
All
much.
right? You want this back in the,
Yes,
Back in
please
the
put it
case there?
Hi. Thank you very much, Stephen, appreciate you being here.
oh, anytime, you know that. The other pads, Jane, are in here.
yes. And in the meeting
the minutes reflect that Shane served as president pro tem, and now Shane has arrived
Good
at
job.
6:20 and
Thank you.
has
I'll talk to you
relinquished
later.
duties, and as vice president, Shane will now
President what?
pro tem, P-R-O, new word, T-E-M.
Well, that's or whoever you guys
If
have.
somebody decides to cheat.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank
you.
We're gonna ask next to the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Before you approve the minutes, I have some additions that need to be added to the minutes that were omitted. Under new business, when I handed in my resignation, I did not state that it was effective immediately. I did state that I would stay on. So the seat wasn't vacant, so a replacement could be found. So that needs to be reflected that way. Also, Jane asked if I could continue to help with projects that I've been involved with, and I said that I didn't have any problem with that as long as council was okay with that. And I also said I would continue as EMC if you so choose to have me, because it's an appointed position and not an elected position. So those needed to be changed. And then the breakdown for the American Rescue Fund was not listed in the minutes when we did the breakdown. The total amount that we will get from American Rescue was $132,825.24. We made a motion last month to decide $35,000 for Joe Gillette for that grant he's applying for in case he doesn't get the grant. We set aside $10,000 for the ordinances, $10,000 for Waymart Cleanup Day. We approved $18,783 for the fire department, leaving $59,042.24 for the renovation for playground and stuff in the park. Our actual American Rescue Fund has been allocated out for all the money, and we wanted to make sure that that breakdown was in there, because we're really good at saying, let's take it from the American Rescue Fund. Well, the money's been allocated out, and there's no more to take unless you get rid of something.
Unless something comes in cheaper than, you know.
If the grant comes in for Joe Gillette for the $35,000, then we will have those funds available to use. But if the grant does not come in, then that money is allocated out. And that is not put into the minutes.
I don't have my phone.
And that's all I have. Oh, yes, no, I do have a motion. Nobody made a motion to accept my resignation last month.
I was just gonna ask that. Was the motion made to accept your resignation? No, motion passed. Okay, so, from the resignation last month, it's automatically accepted after 45 days.
Right.
Okay,
So this will be my last meeting.
so she's officially resigned within 45 days. Borough Council by majority vote has to appoint somebody. Doesn't have to be tonight.
Okay.
Within the 45 days, or we have 30
No.
days starting tonight?
The seat will be vacant after 45 days if somebody isn't appointed.
It's not technically vacant.
Well,
She never gave
We
a
didn't-
The
resignation to
secretary
date.
has a letter of an interested person.
Okay. Doesn't have to be advertised, so anybody knows anybody interested? We'll just say,
So we'll make a motion to accept.
did you give us a date when your
I
resignation?
did not, I left it open-ended, so the seat wasn't vacant.
So the date from that letter, it's 45 days from the date of that letter, the resignation will be official. And it will be. What is the date of that letter?
Last meeting, it'll be in 15 days.
Which is what?
Well, here in the minutes, it's the last meeting was.
June.
Is that the date of the letter?
Okay, something?
Do you have the letter?
You can, and another thing that has to be done on this minutes here, you got today's date instead of last month's date. So do you need a motion first to accept the minutes with a correction? You got those?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with all the new additions.
I'll second.
You made a motion, Michelle seconded it?
I really should, we shouldn't because of going off.
because you can't leave.
So the minutes are good, right? We'll make a motion to accept Michelle's.
Resignation.
Correction.
We have to vote on the first motion.
Oh, yeah, we should vote on that first too. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion to accept the minutes passes. Make a motion to accept Michelle's resignation.
I am so bad in these things. I'll make a motion to accept the regret, Michelle's.
Oh, we don't have to accept it, we can deny it?
No, accept it with regret.
Okay, right, no.
If
Like
borough
our-
council doesn't accept it by majority vote, then 45 days from the date of her resignation letter, it's automatically, she's automatically resigned.
Accept the resignation. And
Jane
appoint
made a
someone
motion
else.
to accept
Have a letter.
Michelle's resignation letter, and Randy,
Michelle, would you like your resignation date to be the 45th day?
That's fine.
Okay, so 45 days from the date of her letter. So you can make that motion. Or just have it.
okay, moving on.
We vote?
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion passes. Yeah.
I make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll second it.
Randy made a motion to pay the bills.
Are there any additions?
Yes, I do, I have two additions, I'm sorry. We've got, first one, Debbie Gillette for, zoning fees, or zoning pay, $105. And the next one I have is Tri-County Independent for spring material biz, the ad notice, $369.
Well, me.
And we already,
Oh, all right.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills with the 2 additions.
I'll second it.
Randy made a motion to second the bills, or pass the bills. Michelle seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion passes. Release report.
It's in the packet.
Mayor's report.
I contacted Senator Baker and Representative Fritz asking for a citation for a council member of Waymart Borough. I thought it was easier than it was. All right. Anyway, I thank my wife and Carla Grimm for helping me get them. Carla wrote a bio for me. I don't know where I would get a bio, but anyway, I have a citation from the Senate of Pennsylvania, from Senator Baker, and from the House of Representatives, from Jonathan Fritz, for Jane Varkle. I'm going to read them. And there's also a personal note from the senator for Jane in here.
Thank you.
The Senate of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who, through dedication and excellence, contribute in a meaningful way to the well-being of their communities and ultimately to all the people of this great Commonwealth. And whereas Jane Varkle is being honored upon 50 years of dedicated service to the Waymart Borough Council, and whereas a graduate of Waymart High School, East Stroudsburg University, University of Scranton, Ms. Varkle was employed as a teacher and elementary school librarian for 34 years in Western Wayne School District. Allotted as the first woman to serve on the Waymart Borough Council, she was elected in 1972 and was honored as the 2013 Outstanding Council Member of the Year by the Pennsylvania Association of Boroughs. Ms. Varkle has been instrumental in obtaining more than 25 grants for the Borough Police Department and local historical society and her church. A member of the Wayne Memorial Hospital Board for 15 years, she previously served as Emergency Management Coordinator for the borough and as a past president of the Waymart Volunteer Ambulance Corps. To her great credit, Ms. Varkle was named the Emergency Medical Technician of the Year by the Pennsylvania Emergency Health Service Council in 2003. She currently serves as chair of the Route 6 Heritage Communities, historian of the Calvary United Methodist Church, and a member of the Northeast Pennsylvania Rails to Trail Board, the Wayne County Foundation, and the United States Penitentiary Canine Community Relations Board. Now therefore, the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Jane Varco upon her richly deserved recognition, affirmatively states that she is a shining example of community spirit whose many contributions are worthy of deep gratitude and respect, and directs that a copy of this document, sponsored by Senator Elizabeth J. Baker, be transmitted to Jane Varco, 211 South Street, Waymart, Pennsylvania. And I happened to call Jane last week and I asked her 3 questions. I said, Jane, is your middle initial M? Yes. You live at 211 South Street? Yes. I said, are you still the president of the Historical Society? She said, yes. I said, okay, goodbye. I needed that for the bio, and they had to verify that.
I didn't know what he meant.
I didn't think you. This here is from the House of Representatives. Whereas Jane Varco is being honored upon 50 years of distinguished service to Waymart Borough Council. Whereas a graduate of Waymart High, Ms. Varco earned a bachelor's degree from East Stroudsburg University, master's degree from the University of Scranton. To her great credit, she was employed with the Western Wayne School District as teacher and elementary school librarian for 34 years. Lauded as the first woman elected as a member of Waymart Borough Council, Ms. Varco served on council since 1972. She's helped to secure funds and grants benefited the residents of the borough of Waymart, the Waymart Police Department, the Waymart Historical Society, and a local church. Active in her community, Ms. Varco also served as president of Waymart Volunteer Ambulance Corps' Emergency Management Coordinator for the borough for many years. She currently serves as chair of the Route 6 Heritage Communities, president of Waymart Historical Society, historian of the Calvary United Methodist Church, and member of Northeast Pennsylvania Rails to Trail Board, the Wayne County Community Foundation, Community Relations Board of the United States Penitentiary Canaan. Throughout her tenure, she was demonstrated remarkable knowledge, ability, and integrity in carrying out her many responsibilities, thus earning the respect and gratitude of all those who received the benefit of her tireless devotion to duty. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Jane M. Varco upon her well-deserved recognition, heartily acknowledges her exemplary record of service, in keeping with the highest ideals and traditions of this Commonwealth, offers best wishes for a happy and fulfilling future, and directs that a copy of this citation, sponsored by the Honorable Jonathan A. Fritz, on June 2nd, 2022, be transmitted to Jane Varco, 211 South Street, Waymart, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Jenny, you all
for
right?
giving me all these years, too.
That's great.
Okay, I have been called a couple times and emailed by Roberta Bailey, who works for SEI Waymart, and they have a group of volunteers, no inmates, it's all employees, that want to do some sprucing up in Waymart on whatever we need. Now, I told her about, we'd like our borough building power wash. The borough has a power washer, and
Can they paint the ambulance building?
that's a good one. But they're willing to do anything and they want to stick around for a while. So if we could get a list and send it to them. I have her phone number here.
Do we have to buy the supplies?
We have to, naturally, we have to supply everything.
Okay.
Okay. And it'd be nice to get the borough building power washed, maybe the historical, the ambulance building. Our railing out here needs painting. Our Waymart Borough sign could use a scraping and a paint. There's a lot of things, and they're willing to do it. There's about a dozen volunteers, and it's just a matter of giving them a list and having someone assist them opening doors or make sure the material's here for them to do. But, she called me 2 or 3 times.
Is there a time-
She's insistent.
A time frame on
No, no time frame. That is like more information you'll get when you call her. And I would also like to thank Robbie Grimm for having his employees spruce up Belmont Street Saturday before the parade. He had his employees out there pulling weeds from the curb all the way down Belmont Street. I thought that was fantastic. And last but not least, we had a great day Saturday. Beautiful parade, well done, Michelle, and it was awesome, and the weather was with us.
We know why that was.
Never rains on Lily
Never.
Spring.
Yeah.
And the firemen did a great job at the picnic.
No, it never rains on my
And it was
birthday, on
well
my
attended.
parade day.
So whoever
On my
missed it, you
parade.
missed a good time. That's all I have, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Solicitor's report,
Nothing to report.
zoning officer's report.
Few things. I was contacted today by the Housing Authority. They are looking, the piece of property they have up at Gravity Plains and additional lots up there consist of an R1 low density residential and RR rural residential. And they are looking to expand and put in veterans housing. Federal HUD grant is in place if they can do it. They're just waiting on the okay from the borough to see if they would give them a variance for the section of land that is in the R1 residential. It just came through email today, so that's why I'm bringing this up. The agriculture, it's okay. Multifamily housing is allowed, but not in the R1 rural residential district. It's already there, but
I know
That
the
was
land
the-
is factor, did you look to see how big it is? In the area?
I didn't have a chance. No.
You know, I think it's wonderful, that's.
That's a great
isn't that a
idea.
great idea?
How many apartments?
They didn't say exactly how many yet. That's to be determined by HUD what the need is and what could
And
be
see, that's the
allowed on
old-
that property.
That's the old railroad bed, so there's no houses,
Back.
you know, along the railroad bed, that section there.
It's just vacant land.
It's just vacant land.
But that's something
We have-
Mhm.
I don't
Need to
know.
consider.
So, yeah.
What are they asking for?
They're asking to have,
A
a
variance.
variance.
I think they have to be here to ask for it.
Yeah, well, I told them they're gonna have to fill out lots of paperwork ahead of time too. They need a zoning
So
permit
there's
first.
nothing to vote on now.
Nothing to vote on, but just, they basically
Yeah,
wanted me to
that's
kinda
all.
get a feel to see if council will be willing to even entertain
You
Oh,
don't
God,
keep
yeah.
the fields.
it.
I certainly am for it.
And we did have a garbage complaint for a building on Belmont Street. That violation letter is going out tomorrow. We did receive back on the Maple Street violation property. They did sign the, certified mail, but did not request a appeal before the zoning hearing board. So more violations will going in place now, so it will be, they have not repaired the fence as of last week when I checked. That has fallen on the neighbor's property, and all of the junk, which is considered a junkyard up there, they were told $25 per piece of junk per day until it's removed, and there are hundreds and hundreds of pieces of junk. So, they'll be getting fines for that. We do have a project that is going to be going on. I have the plans, but we are waiting on a land development plan for out on Roosevelt Highway, the old, Scarfilato property. They do have to do a land development plan. I have the building plans, but they can't go forward, and we can't go forward with a conditional use until we do the land development first. So that's going to be on J&J Trailer and Auto. It's going out there.
Great.
And we cannot find the former land development plans that were done back in the late 90s, early 2000s for that. They might be in the basement somewhere, but we can't find them, and the county can't find them either. So they have to start from scratch, unfortunately.
Wow.
Which is a cost to them and a delay, because they're
I still think we
contractors.
should ask Kathy. It's very possible she knows where they are. I'm sure they're down cellar, but I won't put down cellar.
Thank you, Debbie.
Lots going on.
Yeah, that's good.
You're gonna have some more commercial development on those other two lots too. They're in the middle of their land development plan as well.
Excellent. I know it's hot in here.
Is the air conditioning on or
Doesn't
doesn't
feel
work?
like it.
Yeah,
Bro.
it's on.
No, I turned it off. You can put it back on if you want.
Debbie, also, did the mayor bring up about some of the properties are not cutting their grass?
I did find a note back there, I have to
Okay.
look into those. But I also wanna make you aware, I don't have time to write a letter. Due to my full-time work schedule,
Yeah, I knew you were up to
I am not gonna be able to do this anymore.
No.
Yes. It's a conflict because I'm getting phone calls during the work hours. It was recommended, so.
Oh, we don't need to.
Dangerous job.
And there are people that do that.
So, I would really suggest hiring a third-party company, that's what they do, is basically zoning and other things, but it'd be very beneficial for you until you get your new ordinances in place. And somebody that really knows what they're doing.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Are you giving us your notice today?
Yes, I am.
And how many days do you have?
What's that? How many days do I have?
You give us till December, right?
No, I wish. Too many events at
What are you
work.
talking about?
You have to have it in writing though, don't you?
Next June?
Yeah, we need a letter.
I can email.
Well, that's a shame.
Do you have a pen and paper right there?
But she's right,
Sticky
it's
note.
gotta be a third person.
I mean, there's a lot
There's so
involved,
involved.
especially with the commercial projects that are gonna be going on here. If somebody doesn't know what they're doing, it can really be harmful to the borough to not
How about
protect it.
that Bobcat thing? Is that,
That's what's going on
do
the
they
other
have
two
to have
lots.
land development too?
They have to have land development too. Any commercial building needs it now if you're disturbing land, is what it is, that's federal law, so can't get around that.
Well, thank you, Debbie.
Yep, and you will need your, planning board in place for these conditional use hearings, and secretaries for that, so. Be ready.
Aren't you on it, Jane?
No, I can't be in.
No, that is, usually there's one person from council on your planning commission.
You're on, right?
No,
There you
no, I'm not, I don't reside in the borough, I can't.
So we have some work to do.
And I can give you names of the companies that do, so.
If you could, yeah, you shoot us an email. Correspondence?
Oh, that's me. All right, we received the Waymart Area Authority regular meeting minutes for June 13th. We received a letter, dear Waymart Borough, I am interested in filling the upcoming vacancy as council member. I believe my past 8 years' experience as a council member would greatly benefit the Waymart Borough. Please consider this letter as a formal request. Sincerely, Craig Spivak. Is that how you say his last name? Spivak. So, I've received that letter. There's also an email regarding Flag Day. It read, I attended the Waymart Flag Day Parade on Saturday, June 11th, and wanted to give you some feedback on the event. Overall, I found the parade to be very nice, but I was appalled to see 2 motorcycles participating in the parade flying battle flags as well. You do realize that the Confederacy fought against and were enemies of the United States, do you not? I and others from the area have ancestors who fought and died to protect the Union, and your parade it's cut off, I'm sorry, disgusting. Maybe next year you can incorporate some SWAT sisters and Northern
I think she meant to say swastikas.
Thank you. And North Vietnamese flags into the parade as well.
Was that sign?
Pathetic. Eric Malinowski.
Wow. Never heard of them.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Were there Confederate flags in the parade?
Yeah,
And
on the two
motorcycles.
motorcycles, Mr. Wolf always has.
He always has them, he's been in the parade for years.
Yep,
He's
it's a piece of history.
He's always had it as long as I can remember.
All right, and I have one more thing. From Julia Swingle, I've mentioned in the past with her emails regarding the cats. And it says, "Hi Jerry, I had my meeting with Kathy Adams today. She is from Destiny Animal Shelter. Kathy came over today concerning the cats. She seems she is very much ready to go when I am. Kathy is reaching out to any vet that may be willing to help, especially with cutting the cost to as low as possible. Yes, it can become very costly. She said that they will be willing to help with some of the costs, but not all. Mind you, this is not my issue, and said they were affecting the whole road as we are not far off from town. So I am reaching out to you in regards for financial help so we can address the situation and get it under control. Our plan, meaning I am here to fully help, is to look into getting more help from the shelter over in Hawley. I'm sorry I do not have more information on her or the shelter that Kathy does. Anyways, we would like to start a TNR, basically trapping, neutering, spaying, and releasing back into the area. By doing so, we will be able to control the population as well as the health concerns as spraying and dwindling a future larger population of feral cats. This cannot be promised, but it is Kathy's plan to address this issue on South Street and continuing into town. It is very non-invasive. She will be getting rid of all sick felines in the borough, as well as adopting any adoptable cats and kittens. Although some residential cats will be coming back to stay, they will be checked out by a professional veterinarian and fixed. This will keep everything under control before it gets out of hand, like it continues to do. TNR is an effective way. It is non-harmful to the cats and should keep all residents happy and healthier. If you can address my email to the borough, that would be wonderful. Thank you again for all your help and having Justin reach out to me ASAP. Thank you.
Is there a fee with that for each cat they do?
Oh, yeah. She's basically asking the borough to help with the fees.
Isn't that like starting a business of what you're doing?
Uh-huh.
with the boroughs, yeah.
It's at least $100 a cat. I just had 3 of mine done, plus got them chipped. My one cat was $150
I think
between
it's different when it's a wild
spaying
cat,
and okay, feral might be different. But I got them chipped and fixed, and they were at least $150.
I've been up there 3 times to try to find them. And I've sat there a long time and I haven't seen any yet. Because I get them every day from the Waymart Milling Company, and I welcome them, because they keep the rats down in the milling.
Well, I don't welcome the cats that are sleeping on my front porch.
There's
Not at
gotta
all.
be at least 20 different ones back in those a little bit, but at least 20.
Every town.
Is it called alley cats or something? Who comes in and sprays them? They do it over in the hideout.
But
I think alley cats is
it's a
called-
no-win situation. Every single town has had it in their minutes, in their stories in the newspaper, that the feral cats.
There's a lot of
There
comments.
was a cat.
Did a homeowner contact her? Because it specifically calls out South Street.
I think she's looking to do it herself.
So she has to know somebody in South
Not bring
Street.
a business in here or somebody else. It sounds like she's looking to.
Her address is 415 South Street.
Oh.
It's over the top of the hills, past the Salvation Army, and it's 2 houses down. It's the house that Bender built.
Oh.
Back in the
Before
woods.
his garage, and I asked him
Yeah,
twice,
so-
I said, do the feral cats bother you, Mr. Bender, Lee? I see him at the restaurant. He said, I don't even know what you're talking about, what feral cats, so, I don't know.
Last year, Sea Alley Catch charged the highway $60 per cat. Trap, neuter, release. So that's what they're looking for, I guess. That was before house inflation.
How much
So
are we
she's
talking
pretty much
about?
asking the borough to have a cost.
Well, we can table it for now. Thank you.
They have quite a few cats up on Clark.
So who would we be paying, her directly? Would we be paying her directly?
I think that if we agreed on it or thought that we were gonna help pay for it, we would contact Kathy at Destin and work directly with her.
Does she put a call into animal control, just asking?
Animal control right up the street.
That's what I emailed her when I saw it there 3 weeks ago.
Isn't that something they should?
And I told her to get a hold of Destin.
I've emailed her too with the
I
same.
call,
Yeah.
nobody will come, you gotta trap your own cats.
Do they take them if you trap them, Randy?
No.
No.
Destin's full, they're not taking anything.
Nobody wants to do anything.
Griffin Pond is full too.
That Guardians of Mercy in Holly has 120 cats, so they won't take any more. She even referred to the Holly one, and that's all they have is cats.
Okay, well, we'll consider the letter and table it for now. Anything else?
No,
Okay,
sorry.
thank you. Any guests and citizens today?
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Karen Kane. I'm new to Waymart. My boys, thank you, we really enjoyed it here. My boys last night were egging cars as they went by our house. And they're here to apologize. And if anybody knows of anybody that got hit with an egg, we're looking to have the boys do some kind of community service and along with their grounding and everything else. But yeah, they snuck out last night and went down to the gas station and bought 2 dozen eggs. And this is at midnight.
There was a post somewhere.
Yeah, there's a post on the Waymart group. I'll give you the
Yeah,
link.
I know all about
I
it.
saw it online myself.
Yes.
So you're the little devils at the end.
They even threw soda cans.
We
It's on
didn't.
Facebook.
Yeah, we've seen that but the only thing that the boys said that they threw were the eggs. They don't know where the soda can thing came from. And we checked in front of the house for soda cans and stuff like that. We didn't find any along the street or, so as far as just the eggs, and that's what they admit to.
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
How did they fess up to mom?
Well, we rent from Randy, and I got a phone call from Randy. He's like, hey, I got I do some investigating. This is what I've heard and what's posted on Facebook. And I said, I sure will. Well, I traveled overnight Sunday night for a memorial in Michigan. So yesterday when I got home, I was exhausted. So when I hit my bed, there was no hearing the door or anything like that. So it was news to me this morning when Randy called. So then I went up and woke the boys up and, hey boys, what activities were you doing? Because I have some people that can identify you. And at first my son, this is his friend from Michigan, he's visiting. And my son said, what are you talking about? And I looked at Brody and I said, Brody? And he said, yes, that was us. And then, so they've lost video games, everything. And then they sat out in front of the property with a sign on the road that said, we egged cars last night. If we egged you, please stop. Because I'm trying to,
Thank you for bringing them in. and,
Appreciate your honesty.
Being
Yep.
honest, that's the first part of learning that you did something wrong and admitting it, so.
we wanted them not to
Boys.
forget it.
Fess up.
And we were all young ones too.
Yes,
We can
yes.
certainly keep you busy all summer long.
So, yeah, if you have any projects,
Recycling.
he will be here on one.
Recycling.
And, but my son will be here all summer long.
Could you leave your info?
Randy has my info and, yep,
Okay.
just give me a call if there's something going on. Let me
I
know.
think they need to go to recycling.
Yeah,
Recycling.
recycling would be wonderful.
Recycling, that's
We
the
only have that once in a while.
punishment of choice.
Yeah, so we wanted, and the boys want to stand up and apologize to you guys themselves, boys.
We wanted to say that we're sorry for disturbing the community and throwing eggs at cars, and we learned our lesson and we won't do it again.
You have
Very
Do
good.
you have eyes?
Yes, there,
Thank you. How old are you guys?
Now, that was Michigan apologizing.
Yes. Stand up, Waymart.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for disturbing the community, and I learned a lesson from last night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, mother.
It's very hard to own up to something that you've done, but that's,
Sure is.
Yeah, we were vivid when we heard, and I told Randy, I was like, well, when I left, before I went to Michigan, my husband said we didn't have any eggs. That was the one thing I forgot on my grocery list. So I knew we were out of eggs, and I told Randy, I said, well, I know we're out of eggs. But then he was like, I know, they were at the gas station. They went down and bought some. So.
They're not cheap.
No, they're not. Huh?
You seen us at the gas station?
Yes.
No.
Oh, I believe the fire chief or
Yeah.
something, yeah. You guys walking out with 2 dozen eggs?
We only had one dozen.
1 dozen, okay.
There's cameras down there too.
Yeah.
there's cameras all over. I didn't say where, I just said all over.
The eyes in the sky.
So, yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When you don't know what you're doing, a small town does.
That's right. They know what you're gonna have for supper.
What was your last name? I'm sorry.
My name is Kane.
Trailer shop.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah, we've been there a little over a month, and yeah, so we really like it. It's a beautiful community. We really enjoyed it.
maybe they could also help out at the fire company and really get, those
Absolutely.
guys are wonderful and they'd be glad to have them help them.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I told them, I said, you guys, this isn't over. And then they even have extra chores at home. So.
Randy probably has a lot of dishes.
Oh, it's gonna be a long summer.
I know, and it's Birdie, it was Birdie's first day here. It's like,
I wanna
boys.
know which one of them had the idea to do it.
Mr. Michigan, how long are you here for?
For the rest of this month.
Awesome.
Oh, you got them all summer, Donnie.
Yep.
At least a month. Wow.
Yeah.
A couple
This
weeks.
month is
It's
almost
almost gone.
already.
Right.
Plus they get sentenced no more.
And at Wayside Park,
Up
they
to
could
mom's
help, they
discretion.
could help Earl too.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we should just let them go for the summer and tell them not to do it again.
Too many parents have done that.
Yeah.
And that is why, because you see everybody, if they just kind of brush it off or try to protect their kid and say, no, I don't do that, or they wouldn't do that.
Wasn't
We end
my
up with a
kid.
bunch, yeah, we end up, yeah, so I'd
Okay.
rather,
Maybe I won't.
Thank you, Karen.
you're welcome,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Boys, we're gonna go have dinner, have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dressed up.
Budget,
Michigan.
Can you push it, bro?
budget and
They could
finance.
learn.
Budget and finance.
Well, I think they've been humbled pretty good.
Streets and roads, it's me. I talked to Jeff from Waco. We met on site and just got a game plan, and he's still a few weeks out, so. But we're on the schedule. And I do have some numbers for the cleanup day, but I know we're kind of postponing that. You guys want to go through that, Will, if not? Yeah, okay. Well, I got a hold of Halo Container Service, Buono Waste. They're about the same, really. Buono gave me a few examples of other townships and of, just to get an idea what it would cost and how many containers the other townships get. And he gave me Texas Township, Paulpack Township, and Indian Rocks. He gave me 3 of them. They usually go through 6 40-yard containers. So if you boil it all down, if we had 6 40-yard containers, it would be $7,500. And Halo Container Service was $6,800. So just
That's good.
to give you an idea.
We figured 10,000 in the budget.
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good, both of them.
How much do we bring in when we do
I don't know.
We took 800 in one year.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
$20, that was like $20 a year.
Yeah, not a lot.
If it's just gonna be that, maybe.
You're gonna have a
we
lot
should
of
take it all.
truckloads this time.
Mhm.
People have been storing up.
And who's gonna watch it? Are they gonna come and take when you, at the end of the day?
Well, they'll have members there, and they'll take them as they fill them.
Okay.
And all those three examples have populations bigger than Waymart.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
That's not bad, that's actually.
Do they know that we're not gonna do it in September though, when they gave you that price?
No, that was, I told them possibly June or July.
By the time
So,
September comes
yeah.
through, gas is probably
Sure,
gonna be
fuel will
$10 a
come up.
gallon.
It might be up a little
Okay?
I have a question for streets and roads.
Mhm.
What about paving?
Yeah, Jeff, I talked to Jeff Weinberger from Waco, and I met him on site, and we just went over the project and got a game plan, and he's still a few weeks out.
How about our rural employees start going around and patching some potholes?
That's in the contract?
Yeah, but you're not gonna do it for another 2 or 3 weeks.
Mhm.
They've been out there for about 3 or 4 months. There's some bad ones out there.
There's some that UGI really need to come back and take care of.
I don't know why
Yeah,
they're
well,
not
that's
pursuing
like
UGI.
our front yard, I'll never see that.
Mhm. That's troublesome.
Well, they own that.
They do? Did we fix it once?
Yeah, we fixed it once because we put the pipe across the road.
bit. Katie has that nice hole that broke the caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cars.
But they should go right back on High House on that, because it's their property.
Fowler's.
It's Fowler's.
I mean, Fowler's.
That's the shell,
Excuse
Fowler's
me,
is
High
the
House.
shell.
Yeah.
They
Not
don't
the one
have
that
any
she
money
is
for
at the
stuff.
Exxon or the one at Valero or whatever it is across, pulling out onto Route 6. If you're going in is where the hole is, if you're coming out, it's okay, but if you're going in, there was a hole right there, she locked up her car and broke the caliber.
Yeah, but is it on the highway or is it in the parking lot?
It's in, well, it could be in the right of way, I don't know what the right of way is, but it's right along the road. There's the road, there's the hole.
Yeah, but they're both state roads,
Even
right?
with the,
It's
Yeah, but the
Is it
parking
in
lot
the
is
area
there
where
too.
Leeward is now paving and redoing the road?
Right
So that
along the
should be
side,
fixed.
yeah, it may or may not.
I'm gonna tell you a shocking story about PennDOT. Those people that lived over here, Donnie Schaefer's wife, what is her married name now?
Bonnie.
Bonnie Schaefer
Bonnie.
Kelly.
Called me up 5 days ago and said, Jane, the tree is dead and we're afraid it's gonna fall on our house. And I said, it's on the PennDOT right away. You'll have to call them and call Lillian to get the name of the person who runs the shop down there in Holmesdale. She called up and the next day they came and cut the tree down and they're gonna cut the other one down and they patched the hole. Oh, wow. I just can't believe it. Somebody must have a magic touch because when it,
Maybe they were bored.
They only put a Band-Aid on the patch.
oh, they
Yeah.
put a
That's just
Band-Aid, that's the
temporary.
sixth time they put it.
That's
Yeah,
just
we're-
temporary.
You know why? Because it keeps sinking. It's the pipe underneath, Jeff Weinberg had gone and walked underneath there.
Mhm.
And the pipe needs to be replaced, and that's the big fight. that we
Well, they're
have.
putting a new bridge in.
Yeah.
Won't be started
Yeah.
for 2 years.
Yeah, it's on the schedule.
Yeah, we won't.
Patching it.
Don't hold your breath, as they say.
Well, yeah.
They'll shut it down.
It's either the fifth or sixth
keep
time it's
passing
patched
it,
it.
so then,
Mhm.
Yeah,
need a bridge.
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Bonnie called, and the next day they came and cut the tree down. Oh, that's not the PennDOT I know. It's a PennDOT I'd like to know.
Well, if it fell, they'd be liable.
That's exactly right.
Michelle, Parks and Recreation?
The only thing I have for Parks and Recreation is the Oddfellows from Homestead would like to donate a bench to Waymart Borough. If you saw their float in the parade, the bench was actually on the parade, or in the parade.
Yes,
And they would like to donate that to the borough if you want to accept it, and they just need to know where they need to bring it.
So, well, they could drop it off at the Borough Building, well, the maintenance
We
building.
probably want to do a presentation.
Oh, sure.
They
Okay.
did one for the hospital, they donated one for out front, and they had pictures and a presentation. To present you with
Do they want it in the park or someplace else?
wherever you'd like to put it.
Someplace else.
It's amazing how many people use our benches
I think
over
it's
here.
Very nice, nice.
How about a bench right here in front of the?
How about a bench on
Absolutely.
Belmont Street so that if I want to walk from one corner to
Yeah,
the
I
next,
see
I
what you-
can sit down.
Where would you suggest on the street though?
175 Belmont Turnpike.
I don't know, I was thinking up near,
How about the bank? Would the bank?
the bank, either the bank or across the street, by the mustard seed, someplace
They wanna
that,
donate it to the borough, not a bank.
Okay.
Yeah, not
No,
You have to
it would
watch
be
what
for
you
the,
wanna do, yeah.
the borough, and
Where else could, but that kind of limits, it has to be the park then.
You couldn't put it by the bank because there's not, you have to get it off the sidewalk.
It would have to be in their lawn. That's the problem about being on the sidewalk, you're going to interfere with.
you can't put it on the sidewalk.
Well, we'll put it right here in front of the borough building.
You could
Yeah.
put it in the park or in
Yeah.
the borough building. Or in the borough building.
Defeats its purpose, I think.
You can put it wherever, I mean, people walk up and down South Street.
People loved it when we had it over by the creek. And twice they threw the damn thing in the creek.
That's my fear of.
And if, I'm all for it, but did they put it in cement or do they
Is it
stabilize
bolted
it?
down, is it?
I believe that would be up to you
Okay.
on how you anchor it and procure
It
it.
needs to be in the cement brick or something.
Is it a heavy one?
It looks heavy.
I do not know. I do not know what it's made of. I briefly saw it as the float was going by me and Doug said, "That's your bench if you so want it." And I'm like, "I'll bring it up Tuesday."
I think they told me it was made from recycled plastic, but plastic bags.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
It's
There
heavy.
is
It's
one
really
down, there is one
Really
down
nice.
in front of Wayne Memorial, I believe by the ER entrance is where they put theirs, so if you're down that way, you could check it out.
We just need the location, park or the, right here.
Well, we already have seats in the park, so I guess we
So
don't
put it
need more
there.
seats.
I'm limited.
We could have the kids walking around town.
You can put
Put
it
in
here
different
and
places.
decide later. If you wanna move it, you can always move it into a
Yeah.
different location, as long as they know where to bring it and present it.
Okay, well, let's just plan on the borough building then.
And
For
then
now.
if you so choose to move it to a sidewalk, or to somebody's yard along Belmont Street, that would allow us to put, I mean, the bank, they
I
allow us
could ask
to
them to come to the
We
next
would have to-
meeting and have a picture taken.
You would have to ask.
It's a good idea.
Bank doesn't have one.
We could stand on the ramp and.
It doesn't have to be at the bank, but in that area.
Yeah.
On the
Mustard seed
sidewalk.
might allow you to put
Yeah.
one around that
No,
area,
that's a good
you
idea.
never know.
Yeah, but then the liability of putting it on private property, you can't do it. Even, I was gonna suggest running insurance, but I know the liability.
Did you hear what Jane said, Michelle? Have them come to the next, just present it at the next meeting right here, if they can? Okay.
What's the name of
The Oddfellows,
What do they do?
It's a nonprofit.
it's a nonprofit, it's a secret society.
It's like a fraternal
They
order.
It's
can't
just
do
like
it.
Mason, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. That is all I have. Unless somebody has stuff for me, any certificates? Okay. I'll ask again next month.
Donnie
You
Miller?
won't be here. You're 15 days will be out.
I can still be EMC. They didn't tell me
Randy?
not to.
Nothing to report.
Jane?
Well, you know, I always have a lot to say. The storage shed grant, we're still working on it.
The
And
salt, the salt shed, the material shed?
we do not
Right,
use
material
salt
shed.
shed.
Yeah.
Not that I'm getting upset. It's a storage shed and we're dealing with Canaan Township right now. And as soon as we get it settled with Canaan Township, it's gonna move forward. I talked to Harrisburg today, got an extension on the time, so there's no problem.
How long's the extension?
But don't tell
Oh,
anybody.
good, okay.
Don't tell anybody, it's a few months. I don't want them to say, I don't want Randy to say, or, not Randy, Jeff to say, oh, I got all these extra months to do it.
Okay.
So, the Bob Wilson Complex grant, we're moving forward with that. We also applied for another grant, so we're still trying to figure out different ways. And CDBG called me yesterday, and that's a community block grant, and they're going to cut out of our program the handicapped parking lot. We have to have 2 parking places. we have to have a sidewalk for handicap, we have to have a bleacher for handicap. So that's gonna be cut out of the program, and that's the only thing that qualifies us for CDBG, because you're not gonna believe this, I'm glad you're all sitting down, but the income level in Waymart is too high for us to get a full grant from CDBG. So we don't qualify, but we do anything that is handicap qualifies. And the Wayside Park status, Michelle and I are moving forward with that. The rescue funds, we've talked a lot about that tonight, and we have made a game plan, we'll see how it works out. The firemen, I talked to David today, he's down in New Jersey, putting in, installing whatever he builds, and he was sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but he expects the washer and dryer and the equipment to arrive this week. So as soon as it arrives, I will email all of you and tell you, because he would like to have everybody come over to the fire hall at your own leisure to see the equipment. So that's what we're waiting for at this point. A Borough Conference, what else can I say? It's been wonderful, I appreciate it. I had such a wonderful time at the Borough Conference. This is what they presented to me. And I love it because it has a function. I have 9 other plaques home. I told my brother, if I die first, take them out the backyard and burn them, because why would anybody want them, you know? So I'm glad this has a reason anyway. And I learned a lot at the conference. I learned one thing that kind of concerned me, and I wanted to bring it up to the solicitor here. We just had, they said that a lot of boroughs are getting in trouble because they're not dealing with the right to know law request form correctly. And so we have one right now, going on right now on our computer. And unfortunately, I don't know how to make the letters bigger, so and send this down to the secretary. They said that you have got to fill these out correctly. And I want to tell you, what these people are asking for is gonna take somebody a minimum of 1 to 2 hours to get all that information. Now, who is our right to know? And you better know what you're saying to answer these questions.
You're saying we have a request pending?
Yeah, I ran it off on the back of there. Somebody who knows the computer better than I, can you figure out how to make the words bigger than 6 point? Look at how tiny they are. I don't know, but anyhow, they said you want to take that very seriously, and they did talk about that. And there were some other things, but I'll bring them up next month since we have so much going on already. But there was some really, really great presentations, and it's well worth going if any of you can go. One thing that they had here was, now pass this around, you can see, and since Shane is doing streets, this is about how complete streets happen. And it rolls in everything about the street, from the environmental to the sidewalks to everything else, the signals and so forth, and the pedestrian crossings and so forth. And this is complete, and there is a lot of funders for this kind of program.
Thank you.
And then, this is a Pennsylvania Public Official and Employee Ethics Act. This was one of the most boring sessions I went to, but it's very, very important that we make sure everything we do is ethical. And I got a quiz question today. Today is Flag Day. Who can tell me when Flag Day started and why did it start?
It was the first American flag. First flag.
Yes, the first American flag.
1777.
1777, and it was the Second Continental Congress.
Wow.
Very good. He got mayor, and so today is that day. But I want to say myself personally, it was wonderful. The parade was wonderful, well organized, and the food was excellent. The firemen had and everything, so I appreciated that. But anyway, I appreciated going to the conference very much, and like I say, I hope someday you get a chance to go to one of them. And there's just so much here in the program that I can, over the next few months, tell you about. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Jane. You're welcome to knowledge. I have a question on the right to know. Do we have a time frame to respond?
Yes, we do, unfortunately, and that's part of the problem. I tell you what, right now, I am not going to do it. Because it.
What's he asking?
He's asking about everything. He's asking for all the names of us.
Why don't we send it to Steve Sally?
Because Steve Sally got the name from the audit, see?
For the right to know, this is a request for a copy of the following records: an electronic file, Excel PDF Word, of any and all employees, including part-time, temporary, seasonal, and elected officials for year of 2 record. Should contain the year of compensation, first name, middle initial, last name, hire date, base salary amount, bonus amount, overtime amount, gross annual wages, and position title. We have attached the crossed off standard supplement. Principal purpose of this is to make the information more accessible to the public and access and disseminate information regarding the health, safety, and welfare of the general public. The request is not principally for personal, something exercising the general rights of the public.
Who's it?
You don't
Did
think
you
it's
ever
a
hear
sham,
this
do you?
company that signed it?
I think it might be somebody just putting together a website of,
American Transparency.
all townships in the country, maybe.
Does he have a telephone number?
Email at pennsylvania@openthebooks.com.
No, Janice
But
Faris.
can we
American
check to see if they're
Transparency.
legitimate?
Yeah, I have sent her before.
Have you? Oh. Well, I tell you one thing, when I read it, I thought, I ain't gonna do it.
All I do is run it off QuickBooks.
I think you did it once, Shelley.
Did you?
Didn't you do it already?
Well, she should be paid extra time for doing this kind of stuff.
And when do we have to be back to them most of the time?
Well, I
You
think
have
this
10 days, but you can do extension or something.
better be more than 10 days, because it's been on the computer for
May
3 weeks.
26th.
Well, then you better give her a copy of it to do
Because
it.
I don't need it. I don't do that.
Who's the right to know?
I'll show you the minutes though.
Yeah, you're the right to know officer, you should send her an extension.
I'm not
So
the
just
right
ask
to
for
know
an
officer.
electronic
Yes, you
file.
are.
Did we ever name her?
Since when?
You were. You were. Remember you would ask me, who does this go to? That particular kind of right to know goes to Shelley, because she does the salaries and the money stuff, and that's what they're looking for. But you are the right to know officer.
Well, what? All right. Give it back.
No, that's for Shelley to do, I think.
Or she just said,
It says here, we could charge $5 per record,
Yeah.
certified
it's not on
record.
the house.
Just send our letter back saying you're asking for about 50 records and it's $5 per record. It says $250 will do the work. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I would charge them, but you know
Absolutely.
why?
Charge them, and you pocket the money.
Yeah,
Well,
but
they need it in advance.
And if she gets the money, I think we should give it to her.
That's right, exactly.
It's not bad. It's not as bad as you think.
Uh.
And
She's got it
employee
all on
records can be
QuickBooks.
included in the right to know?
Yeah, because it's public knowledge,
yeah.
except
Taxpayer money.
addresses and social security numbers, you can't, yeah.
there should be a fee because we have to pay your salary.
Right.
Then don't you think we should make her the right to know officer now?
Well, because there's something.
Well, she is, but
Move your head. Block that sun.
Is that better?
Yes.
Are you gonna write an email back then?
I
think
have
there's
to find the
there's
email.
no shade on
Oh,
where this
okay.
came from.
I think requesting the fee, for sure. I think that needs to be
If you
done.
think they're,
It asked for an extension.
if you think those are the right things, then they follow it for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but there's
Jane, did you get that from email?
What?
That
If it didn't go
letter?
to the
Yeah.
right, if it didn't go to the right
Can you
person,
make
it's
sure
not
it
a
gets
valid
sent
right.
to Jerry so she has it?
correct.
It's right there.
If it went to Steve Sally, to a resident, then
I'll look for
It
it.
never went to Steve, and Steve, I think, is very, very sick.
Yeah, what's the
Those are
matter?
certified.
Is he still in the hospital?
I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, if it went to him, he's not your right to know.
Well, I know, but it went to him, asking him, and they picked up his name, on the audit, that's the only place they could pick up his name.
gonna send electronic.
Yeah,
money.
if you
That's
don't
an old
follow right to know
website.
properly, you don't have to.
I don't think we can charge anything if we're sending electronic.
Because it's
Just
electronic,
fire
if
it
it's
out.
certified or something like mailed, then.
Well, there was one girl that got in real trouble because they didn't answer them, so,
They posted
yeah.
on opening the books, I think it's,
Charge
open
it.
records.
Oh, this is, and by the way, they gave me a pin too, 50 years. But when I saw us made in China, I yelled at them.
Okay. That it, Jamie? For now? Unfinished business?
I don't know. I just think it was wonderful, and I think we should commend the firemen, and we should commend the parties in the park, because it was well organized, it was wonderful out at the Grove, thank God it didn't rain. The chicken was excellent, the vendors were very good, it was just an all-around wonderful event, except the music is too loud for old ladies. When I can hear it at my house.
I can barely hear
I can
it
hear
though.
it at our house.
I know.
I heard it too, until like 11:30.
Yes.
I could hear it in my house if you were sitting outside.
Well, yeah, you have to be
They were
outside.
done by
When
But it
does
was a
quantity become
Time,
instead
11
of
o'clock,
quality?
right?
11 o'clock.
Yep, they stopped by 11, they were
Yeah.
told that not after 11. We've always ended everything by 11 o'clock. Because that's late enough.
Any new business?
I just looked at their email address, PennsylvaniaOpenBooks.com. They list all the income of everybody that works in government in Pennsylvania. And the highest paid employees, James Grossman, Chief Investment Officer for the state retirement system at $485,000 a year.
Oh my God.
Wow.
No wonder I haven't had a raise in 20 years with retirement.
So they're gonna be really interested in our payroll here at Wayne.
And what year? They're just from one random year or all years?
I imagine a year or two.
Yeah, okay.
Open the books.
Any new business?
Yes. I have a letter here for myself as of today, I'm resigning as secretary.
Goodness.
Oh my God, everybody
You are
says
in rough
this.
shape.
This is like a ship with all the, when they're running off, everything running off.
She's right.
Why? Obviously, you don't have to tell us why, but,
How about the council position?
Say that again?
The council position that we have a letter?
Yeah.
Can we vote on it?
No, I don't think we're gonna vote on that now, right?
Because she still has another 15 days.
Yeah, and we really didn't even advertise for it. 'cause we
You
didn't-
don't
You
have.
don't
to.
have to appoint.
You don't have
Oh, I
it,
see.
we went
Okay.
through
Well,
it.
Only at election.
well, we should probably see if we get another person of
But the
interest.
thing is, if 15 days are up, then we're gonna have to have a special meeting
Yeah.
without somebody being named. I'm
No,
not sure.
I think you can start, you can appoint at the beginning of the next meeting.
Okay,
Her resignation's automatic after 45 days.
okay, whatever. You-
I
So we'll just
could
sit
appoint
out
that
that
if you want to,
letter.
tomorrow.
I'd like to make a motion, that we appoint Craig because he was a wonderful council person before and did a lot. He did a lot for the jobs and he knew a lot about the streets too. Because that's what he does too. So.
Is your letter effective immediately?
Yes.
We finished the meeting tonight, right?
Yeah.
Well, I made a motion, second.
Okay, what did you say?
I made a motion for Craig to be up to be named to council and he seconded it.
And Randy seconded.
Now we need to vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion passes.
Now, who has to know? Now, what about Jerry?
I make a,
Well, first, who notifies him? Who notifies him that he's now the,
I'll notify him.
thank you.
That's a phone call.
Good deals.
Got a mission,
What?
Michelle.
Nope.
I'll be around. It's just life in general is happening. I have to make some posters for this.
I didn't feel it was in my best interest at this time.
Okay, well, we have some searching to do for signature.
Well, we accept, we accept it with regret also.
I'll second it.
Jane, made a motion to accept.
We lost a council person, we lost a secretary, we lost zoning.
The great resignation.
I'll finish up at least the month. There's a lot of
Thank you.
projects going
You
on.
said a year?
No.
Jane made a motion to accept Jerry's letter of resignation. Michelle seconded it.
Hey, yes.
All in favor?
And I'll
Nays?
take out the minutes.
She
She
said
can be
she's gonna go to
secretary.
the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what I heard, Jim.
No, she didn't.
That's at the end of the year.
Just did now.
Who
I
said
heard her
that?
say that.
Oh, okay.
She's locked in.
Well, there
Who
was
said
something
they're
at
going
the
to the end of the
beginning
year?
meeting we had to-
Just at the end of the month. They were teasing her at the end of the year.
Let's be realistic. Debbie,
Yes.
you're staying on till when?
I'll stay at least through the end of the month and get you another 2 weeks at least. There's a lot I have to wrap up. And I can help.
We gotta get somebody, whether we hire a company.
Mm-hmm.
NEIC does it.
You
They
can,
have a
you can
whole-
send us.
Yeah, your third party that does UCC inspections, NEIC, they have a whole department that does zoning.
One thing about,
And enforcement?
with what Debbie's
Yes.
saying, Michelle, how is it coming with Tom Shepstone? Is he gonna start working on these?
He has the ordinances, I have not heard from him, so I will put an email in for him to.
See, that's
reach
gonna
out
be hard to
council.
transition to a company without our,
I will put an email out to him to contact Shane. You want him to contact you?
Sure.
Okay. I'll put an email out for him to contact.
What's his name?
Tom Shepstone.
Tom Shepstone.
And I still have copies
Who gets it from
of
there because I.
other municipalities' ordinances digitally that, 3 really good ones.
If you wanna drop them off to him, I can tell him that.
Oh, they're all digital
Digital,
files.
Send them.
and I also told
And I've
him, I
scanned
said,
in most of the ordinances here.
I told him if he wants to come to the borough
Send them
building,
to me and I can.
I'll
forward them to
meet
him
him
in
here
email.
to look
Oh,
at the,
I have his email.
to look at the
I just-
Facebook book.
I just can't do them.
Yeah. I get that.
Okay. Anything else?
Do we have a committee to, what was it? We passed something.
Ooh.
Zoning.
Zoning, yeah. Do we have a zoning committee?
I think we are. There's-
Zoning hearing board.
Are you a zoning hearing board?
Yes,
I
we
believe
can.
it is. Isn't
I
Jimmy-
mentioned that last meeting that you did have an
Jimmy
opening you were
Salik's
gonna
on
come
there.
on.
Now,
Bob, no, we have a committee.
We better check to
And
see if they're
Waters.
still serving.
Waters.
Water, Gary Water, or no.
George.
George Junior.
By the way, George Junior, you need to approach to see what he's doing there in that yard. He built that beautiful garage and now there's all that junk there sitting there.
I know he's slowly gonna be putting it in there.
And if that truck, he has to have a building, that's like a building, he has to have a building permit if he's gonna leave that truck there. It's another building. And who was saying?
Truck is
And
a licensed registered motor vehicle, we cannot.
No, it
It's
isn't.
a trailer.
It's a
Trailers are still registered.
Trailer's been there for years.
Yeah, but
I
his
don't know if
isn't.
that
They
is-
have axles.
His isn't. His isn't.
Are the wheels on it or off it?
They're off it.
I think they're off
The
it,
wheels
but it's
are
been
off
there a
it.
long
It
time.
Changes
Sure.
the status.
Yes.
And how about, you brought up before
She
about
hasn't.
about okay.
The 2 pop-up garages over there at the old
2
fire.
pop-up garages, now they're popping up all over the place and they have to have a building permit like anything else.
I don't think so.
Yes,
They
do.
don't need inspections, they need, if they're an accessory temporary structure, they're considered.
The thing is, they're out in the, right away of the town's road. They're right out to the edge of the road.
Well, you can make a move, but
Yeah.
if you could take it down, I don't think you could do anything about it.
Well, that isn't what I understood, but that, yeah.
It depends on, if they're the ones with the tarps, they're temporary, if they put the awnings on them, then they're permanent.
Are they metal or
Okay.
vinyl?
That, we go
Bye bye
on,
and love.
new business? Make a
I
motion
make
to
a
adjourn.
motion to, I make my last motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Michelle.
Second.
Second. Michelle made a motion to adjourn, Randy seconded it, all in favor? Aye.